this ground, you stand on it and play it loud. If this field could talk, it'd tell you all. Every pitch matters in this town. This is Decatur. This is how we play. 9 innings, no shortcuts. Earn it every day. Stand up, let it ring. From the bleachers to the water. This town plays ball. This town plays ball with the Decatur Bean Ballers. Same roots, same fight, same pride in our colors. This town plays ball with the Decatur Bean Ballers. With the Decatur Bean Ballers. Beanball baller, beanball baller.
And we welcome you into Mtn Dew Park. Daniel Herzog, Truman, Griessel with you for this interconference matchup between the Decatur Bean Ballers and the Thrillville Thrillbillies. And Truman, it's a matchup between a pair of teams that had disappointing first halves and have had disappointing starts to the second half. The Thrillbillies come in 3-9, just 2 games from the bottom and a world away from the top of the South Division in the Western Conference. Cape Catfish are 15-0 to start the second half, so Thrillville well out of the race. And then, meanwhile, the Bean Ballers find themselves dead last in the Central Division in the Eastern Conference at 5-11 coming into this one.
Yeah, it's not been the season that either team has wanted. Certainly Decatur in their inaugural season, not the season that they've wanted. But if anything, you still have 3 weeks left to play. And Decatur, you've got a lot of games left to still prove yourself at this level, make yourselves known in this league. Also maybe play spoiler to a few teams. You've still got plenty of games left against your rival, the Lucky Horses. You're trying to win that season series. You saw them last night win the season series against the Aviators, one of those their most complete victories of the year. They got a 6-inning start, 1 run given up from Manuel Toro. They really needed that on the mound because it's been the pitching that has fallen off in this second half. Here in July, the ERA is
To seeing the Bean Ballers bats, who had put up 10 or more runs in the 2 previous games, only scored 6, but that didn't matter because Bean Ballers pitching, who had given up 10 or more runs in back-to-back games, only gave up 2 runs to a very capable Lafayette Aviators offense. And that was a team Decatur was accustomed to seeing 3 of their last 4 have come against Lafayette. For this one, leading off for Decatur is the usual suspect. Brandon Abernathy leads off. He's in center field tonight. Will Applegate in the 2 spot playing second base. Right behind him, the designated hitter is O'Neal Felice. Jackson Miller in the cleanup spot will catch tonight. Brady Grabowski, the former Thrillbilly, playing for Decatur tonight. It seemed like they couldn't quite figure out the bats, and now that they've figured out the bats, the pitching has fallen off, but also the fielding has really become an issue in these last few games.
Yeah, I mean, they have 28 errors in the month of July. They had just 26 total in the month of June. They've only played 12 games here in July. It's just been a lot of just throwing the ball around the yard. It's been makeable plays that you're just making bad dirt fields, which, funny enough, they will see a lot of dirt fields these final 3 weeks of the year. But it's just about getting back to playing clean defense because now the Decatur defense overall in the Prospect League, it has dipped well below their season average. They now come in the 12th best defense at just a .954 team fielding percentage, when for much of the season they were a top 5 defense.
And the 4th most hits. And just overall, it's really been sporadic the last few games. Thrillville, the pitching arms have been either firing on all cylinders or really not firing on win column for the Alton River Dragons, who only have 4 on the season, but 2 of which have come between these 2 teams. And meanwhile, for the Thrillbillies tonight, it's TJ Costello to lead off. He'll Chase Niemeyer. Caden Matusak will play shortstop and hit 7th. Jarius Atkinson plays left field and hits 8th. And then rounding out the order, the quarterback in the outfield is Nathan Jessup, hitting 9th and playing center field. And it's the right-hander Brandon Menser on the mound for the Thrillbillies. This is his first start overall. This will be outing number 3 for Menser. This is the 3rd consecutive Thursday that he'll be pitching. His debut was back on July 2nd against the Terre Haute Rex, where he had a solid outing. He pitched just 2 1/3 innings pitched, but gave up just 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out a pair, and didn't give up any runs. But then his last outing against the O'Fallon
line, to put in perspective, the last time these two teams faced, they're at the end of May. Only 4 of the Bean Ballers bats in this lineup tonight were in the lineup then, and you go over, and it's still pretty new, both these teams, again, being in different conferences, and it's just another day you get to go out there and play baseball.
outside of this summer league, so 4 1/3 innings pitched is all we really know. But meanwhile, Thrillville is way back, nearly out of place in the postseason race. There, 1.5 games. Rex at 9-4. 1.5 games. Rex at 9-4. Danville Dans are a game behind at 8-5. Springfield Danville Dans are a game behind at 8-5. Springfield Lucky Horseshoes right in. It's the right-hander from Cesar, Illinois, Brandon Menser on the mound for the Thrillville Thrillbillies tonight, who are in their home orange uniforms with black piping down the middle. Big block letters, Thrillville across the front. They've got numbers in black in the bottom left corner of the front of the jerseys, as well as big block letters in black on the back for the numbers. And meanwhile, Decatur is wearing their travel and then cyan caps with a blue bill and a white D logo. And Brandon Abernathy is the leadoff hitter for Decatur. As always, finds himself near the top of that order. The Huntington Beach inside for ball 1. And we're underway here in Marion. Menser hugging 80 miles per hour, misses upstairs, and it's a nice 3-ball, no strike count to Brandon Abernathy.
That's something that's elevated his game. He's taken a lot more walks here in this month. He's been a lot more patient. While the hits haven't been trickling, he's a patient guy.
3-0, misses low and away. It's ball 4, and after a trio of walks drawn last night, Brandon Abernathy draws his first free pass tonight.
That's just 4 straight misses from Menser. He's going to look to keep the walks down. He's only walked 1. And even if his last 2 outings that have gone 2 innings or more, and when you look at
the stolen base and You see aggressive base running as Abernathy goes on the first pitch to Applegate. It's now an 0-1 count on the Charleston native, who went 1 for 5 last night. Menser peeks at Abernathy. 0-1 misses upstairs. Now still hugging the first base side of the rubber. Swings and misses at a fastball at the top of the zone. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
That's a little late on the fastball. He mentioned the fastball with a lot of life from Menser, and if he can command that, his off
get on top of did Menser, so count is get on top of did Menser, so count is now full, and he's at risk of walking the second straight man. Payoff pitch, lofted softly and right into the glove of Matusek at short for out number 1. A good pitch, jammed him in on a fastball, and all Applegate could do was flare it right to.
All he needed to go full in 6 pitches to Applegate. He got the first out, showed a bit more command.
O'Neal Felice now to the plate. First pitch, Felice takes a big cut, and Felice takes outside a slider at 84, just off the plate, checked his swing and held up.
Well, the Bean Ballers saw some velocity last night. Riley Six, who closed out the game for Lafayette, was sitting his fastball in the low 90s. So they saw velocity last night. They're seeing velocity tonight. Hopefully the hitters can make the adjustment.
In his 55 June at-bats. 2-1 swing and a miss. Felice behind another fastball. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. A slightly better hitter on the road. It's 3-3 now on follow-up. The first pitch to him. Miller himself is another guy. Sunday, a perfect 4 for 4. 1-1. Hit sharply down the right field line, but it hooks foul. That was a fastball near the middle of the plate, and those are the pitches that Jackson Miller doesn't miss. The ball field line, but this one hooks foul.
That was a slider inner half to Miller, and he's just able to foul it off.
Plate. The Bean Ballers get the first run of the ball game.
That's a mistake right there from Menser.
And because of his hot stretch, he's just been forcing Gabe Arroyo's hand to make him an everyday bat. Has played at first, also been a designated hitter. Payoff pitch is fouled back. Miller fights to stay alive. So the Bean Ballers without a hit yet, but they have the first run of the ball game. The first meeting between these two teams all the way back, third game of the year on May 28th. The Thrillbillies took it 9-5, but the Bean Ballers did get 2 in the first inning. They've already gotten 1, and Felice is in scoring position, looking for their second with Miller to the plate. Payoff.
Trying to shake up the timing, but now in this pitch clock age where you only have 20 seconds with runners on base to deliver the pitch, just didn't fulfill that and offers the walk.
Brady Grabowski now to the plate. First pitch, Grabowski takes right down Broadway on a fastball for strike 1. And he's been given a not-so-warm welcome. He's the Urban Legend Barbecue strikeout legend of the game. If he strikes out, Thrillville fans can cash in. He doesn't. He grounds one up the middle. Is through for a base hit into center field. Felice gets the wave. The throw comes into third as Miller stops around second. But the Bean Ballers have now plated 2. Brady Grabowski in his return to Mtn Dew Park. An RBI single, and it's 2-0 Decatur in the top of the first.
Yeah, just an easy swing from Grabowski. This one's lined right up the middle. He takes the first pitch strike. Menser tries to double him up. It's just an easy swing there from the Troy, Illinois native, and that's what you like to see. He played in this ballpark last summer, like you mentioned, hit .303 in the 2025 Prospect League season. But this is the start you wanted if you were Decatur. It's a bit of a later start time than you're used to, 7 o'clock here Central Time in Marion, Illinois. But you're trying to put the Thrillbillies away in the opening inning and not even let them have any breath before Charlie Linderman takes to the mound.
And now a mound visit on the mound as Menser is given up a pair of runs. Of course, it's amplified due to the error in right field, but he's still in a jam. Runners on first and second, only one out. And it's now the sixth guy to come to the plate for Decatur, who already have two in this inning. It's Moises Febriette for Decatur. And Febriette last night launched a 2-run home run to the opposite field to give Decatur a 3-run lead. He's got a runner on second. If he could drive him in, he'd give Decatur a 3-run lead tonight. First pitch, Febriette takes a fastball at the knees. And it's typically been the bullpen of late for the Thrillbillies that has let them down. 0-1 to Felice, or rather to Febriette, has taken a slider outside corner for strike 2.
And Febriette's been hitting the ball great as of late. 10 hits in his last 8 games. So he's starting to really see the ball well.
For Menser tonight, and they're 2 away here in the top of the first.
Yeah, it's a nice pitch sequence from Menser. He goes slider away. Febriette lays off of it, and then he raises the eye level, heater up, and that pitch-tunneling pitch sequence just gets Febriette.
The Thrillbillies pitching staff, the starter went 4 innings, didn't give up a run, but the bullpen gave up both runs as Weiss fouls one back. And then earlier this week, the first game of the week back on Tuesday, in a loss to the Alton River Dragons, the starter Connor Temple went 4 innings, only gave up 2 runs, and then 15 of the 17 runs for Alton were charged to the bullpen. 1-1 is above Weiss's head for ball 2. That's another curveball at 70 that we see Menser just not have a good grip on. Miller on second. Grabowski on first. Bean Ballers already have 2 in. It's a 2-1 count with 2 out. Weiss takes downstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike. Weiss got the
Sense for the strike zone, laying off chase pitches and extending innings.
pods full of beans. First pitch to Hampton Petska is just below the zone. A fastball at 90 miles per hour for ball 1. Decatur only has 1 hit in the inning. Ground ball single up the middle for Brady Grabowski, but they've plated 2 runs. 1-0. Petska takes downstairs again, but they're looking for plenty more. The pods are full of beans. They're asking for Hampton Petska to reel them in. From the windup now, Menser misses inside. It's 3 balls and no strikes. And a walk would do the job. It would be the 4th walk of the inning for Menser. And it would yield the 3rd run of the inning for Decatur. 3-0 pitch. Right down Broadway for strike 1 on a fastball. Decatur gets 2 runs on a hit and an error in the field. We go to the bottom of the first. The Thrillbillies are grabbing their bats, and they've got work to do, down 2-0. Bean Ballers lead 2-0. Start of the bottom of the first inning here in Marion between Decatur and the host Thrillville Thrillbillies. And the Thrillbillies are facing the right-hander on the mound. It's Charlie Linderman. For Linderman tonight, this is his 4th start, 8th appearance overall. He's got 22 1/3 innings pitched. He's gotten bounced around a little bit, giving up 25 hits. And also giving up 15 walks, just 7 strikes.
His last start, so he maneuvered around a lot of traffic, but he got the job done and gave his team a chance to win, and that's all you can ask of him. You know, he's not going to strike out a lot of guys, but if he gives you a chance to win, that's what you can ask at a
Costello has stayed in Thrillville this whole time. 1-0 from Linderman. Fastball on the outside corner for strike one.
And it was in that game on February 28th that the Bean Ballers got off to a 2-0 lead. They put up 2 runs in the top of the first, and then Thrillville responded with 1 in the bottom of the first and 2 in the bottom of the second. They were off and running to that victory.
Springfield Lucky Horseshoes, but it was primarily as a hitter. So he can play both sides for a baseball team. The 3-1 hit sharply on a hop. Fabriette fields it in shallow left field. Tossed to first in time after a pirouette. A nice nonchalant play by Moises Fabriette, and there's out number 1.
And that's where Fabriette's really limited his errors. Early
From O'Neal Felice in right field, that is part of the reason the Bean Ballers were able to push 2 across in the inning. It's the Florence, Kentucky field. The sun is looking directly at the right fielder. 1-1, breaking ball just below the zone. It's 2 balls and 1 strike now to no walk. Linderman deals. Fastball outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. So he starts behind the first 2 hitters, 3-1. Got a sharp ground ball from T.J. Costello right at Fabriette at short. The first hitter, what does he do? 3-1 with no walk. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And
see right here, second batter of the game. Miller just gets his bell wrong, and
yeah, absolutely. Certainly going to need to go through whatever concussion protocol or whatever just to stay in this game and make sure he's okay. The Bean Ballers have O'Neal Felice in the lineup. He's the designated hitter. They also have Gage Reynolds on the bench and at bats. He's one of several players who made his debut back on June 27th against the Cape Catfish. Went 1 for 3 with a double, 3 RBIs and 2 walks in his debut, and overall has been a solid bat. When he makes contact, he comes in hitting .351 through his first 37 at-bats. He's shown plenty in the having a chat with the trainer, the home plate umpire, and Charlie Linderman, and now tosses on his mask again. That was a scary moment. See your catcher go down, the second hitter of the game. Underway. Nowak back to the plate. Miller back behind the plate.
up, up, up. You can raise the hitter's eye level, and then you drop something down. Otani-inspired swing, and the barrel stays in the zone a long time. And it's just a nice piece of hitting. Gets the Thrillbillies their first hit.
So now with a runner on first, Pierce Bowerly to the plate. We'll see if Ifrig goes. He bluffs a go and trots back after Bowerly takes a slider outside for ball 1. Ifrig, who was hitting .381 in his first 5 games. Ifrig, who was hitting .381 in his first 5 games, starts off with a single, and there's another check from Linderman. But Ifrig's back in time. There is a right-hander out in the Thrillville bullpen warming up. Another check, and it gets by Petska. Ifrig gets second base, and looks like he'll be content with that, but the first few throws from Linderman were on the money, but that last one well away from Petska, and now there's a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
This is what I'm talking about Decatur, why they've had so many errors, just unnecessary throws, throwing it around the infield, and with 2 outs, you want to go right after this hitter. You're up at 2-0. I know you're worried about Ifrig over there, and I know Linderman's got that great move in his back pocket, but you've already showed it off twice. Try to focus on getting a hitter. It's just an unnecessary throw, in my opinion, that allows the runner to get into scoring position.
So now Ifrig on second. 1-0 to the plate. Long.
Who didn't let all the pickoff moves get to his head. And hey, just like that, it's tied. You knew this was going to be a battle, even a battle between maybe two teams not in contention. A battle nonetheless. And just like that, it's 2-2.
So in the second meeting between these two teams, and both times now, both teams have scored in the first inning. It's now Hayden Burnritter behind to the plate. 1-0 misses in the dirt. It's now 2 balls and no strikes. So it was a clean first 2. This is inside. It's ball 4. This is inside. It's ball 4. After getting the first 2 hitters, Linderman is now allowed the next 3 to reach.
That's always how you want to see when you get hit, punched in the mouth like Linderman did, giving up a homer. How do you respond? It was 4 uncompetitive pitches outside the zone. Again, Linderman, he's
Swings at the first pitch and chops it foul down 90 feet.
It's a great piece of hitting from Niemeyer. And the Thrillbillies are continuing to swing it here in this first inning. It really seems like we're in for quite the shootout here on a Thursday night.
So it's the University of Michigan commit, Caden Matusak, to the plate. He's got a runner on second as the Thrillbillies are looking to double the Bean Ballers' lead. First pitch, Linderman to Matusak is a fastball inside corner for strike 1. A native of Crown Point, Indiana, graduated high school senior. He'll be joining the Wolverines next season. Linderman deals 0-1. Sky high into shallow right field. Applegate goes out, but Weiss coming in calls him off and makes the catch for out number 3, but not before the Thrillbillies get a 2-run home run from Pierce Bowerly and an RBI double from Chase Niemeyer to take the lead. A 3-spot put up in the bottom of the first. We go to the second inning. It's 3-2 Thrillville. Brandon Menser back to the mound for his second inning of work. It's quickly an 0-2 hole.
They're really hoping after last night's start for Manuel Toro, the Bean Ballers could get back-to-back great starts, but
playing again at third base. It seemed an error in the field for Thrillville.
and we'll see how many more free passes Brandon Menser issues out before his. And we'll see how many more free passes Brandon Menser issues out before.
This lead, his 20th of the season. Moises Febriant and Brandon Abernathy right behind him. Abernathy stole his 12th bag last inning. It's the team. He's been hit by 8 pitches so far this season. Overall, Decatur has been hit by just 38. 3-1. Misses down and away. It's ball 4.
For Menser, very similar to the start from Thrillville that we saw when these teams faced in that.
Giving up the lead in the bottom of the first. It's 3-2 Thrillville here in the top of the second. After he gave up 6 runs, on 3 hits and 3 walks, did not record an out in that one. Back on Tuesday.
Gators struggled against the first guy out of the bullpen in most games this summer.
First pitch to Will Applegate is upstairs, and wasn't just Omer who struggled in that outing after
Through 5 innings of fantastic baseball, shut the door on Decatur's hopes.
deep breath on the mound for Omer. Runners go, the pitch home, and there's no throw to either base as Farnes steals third, Abernathy steals second, and Applegate gladly takes strike 1 on the outside corner.
Yeah, nice orchestrated double steal. Niemeyer was coming up trying to throw to second, seeing if Abernathy was reacting to Farnes, but this was a straight double steal, and it works to perfection.
For both runners, that's their second stolen base of the game. 2-1s hit foul off to the left out of play. And for Farnes, that's his second of the inning. He now has 21 to lead Decatur. Abernathy in second place in that category with now 13. It's a 2-2 count to Applegate. Runners on second and third, nobody out. Omer deals home. Applegate takes outside, and the count goes full. Omer overall comes in with a 19.02 ERA, and it's been just as much the hits as it has been the walks. 21 walks, given up 28 hits, only has struck out 13. Payoff pitch, hit sharply to left field.
Way off second, seeing if that ball did get over the head of Atkinson. He could score, but a nice job to drive in the run nonetheless.
1 out, runner on second, own plate. Chops this one foul down the third base line, and it bounces out of play. A recent commit of Southern Indiana University. After he spent his last 2 seasons at Florence Darlington Technical College, was an all-region catcher his last season. 1-1. Felice hits sharply, but it's off Omer, who collects it as Abernathy moves up to third. Throw to first is in time to get the second out. And it hit Omer in the lower legs, but he still had a peace of mind to collect it and throw to first in time.
That's a nice job for the pitcher to regain his composure.
And now it's Jackson Miller. Rather, it's Gage Reynolds into the game. So it seems that after Miller stayed in the game, he was hit on the backswing of Mark Nowak back in the first inning. He has been replaced by Gage Reynolds and will likely be replaced by Reynolds behind the plate as well. The 1-0 to Reynolds, swing and a miss. Fastball just outside the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Man, last time Reynolds played, it was a great game for him Tuesday in Danville. Went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs, so he was seeing the ball well at the plate. Now, what he thought he was going to get a normal off day.
First. 1-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on third. Omer, a deep breath on the mound. Delivers home. Misses upstairs on a fastball, the fastest he's thrown today at 87. And the count goes full to Reynolds.
Yeah, and Reynolds was really seeing the ball well, like I said on Tuesday, but I felt like his plate discipline was
In the 6th inning for Decatur was an opposite field to deep right field at Danville Stadium. Payoff pitch.
Grabowski, who has the only hit for Decatur this evening thus far.
Said base knock was a ground ball up the middle to score a run back in the first. Grabowski takes strike 1 on the outside corner. 0-3 last season in 22 games for the Thrillbillies. 1-1. Takes well upstairs, 2 balls and 1 strike. Also had a pair of long balls in that season. Strike. Three-one pitch. Grabowski fouls it off to the right, and it hooks out a play into the stands. So the count is now full on the big Grabowski, the Bean Ballers left fielder. Already responsible for one of the runs on the board. Decatur scored 2 in the first. They've scored 1 in the second, and they have runners at the corners with 2 outs. Full count. Omer deals, runner goes. It's in the dirt, and Reynolds will put it into cruise control as he walks into second. Grabowski walks to first. It's back-to-back free passes handed out by Omer.
And this is the Thrillville pitching staff that walks like talked about, they average 6 walks per game. Well, that's already on the 7th walk.
Into left field. Abernathy scores. Reynolds around third. He'll come in to score, and the Bean Ballers have taken the lead.
And right there just attack something, and the Bean Ballers now lead.
Chase Weiss now to the plate. Grabowski on second. Fabriette on first. And we talked about Grabowski's first hit with Decatur was a long ball. Fabriette's first hit with Decatur, in fact, in his debut, was a long ball against the Alton River Dragons back on June 10th. 1-0 pitch. Weiss fouls off the mask of Niemeyer. 1 ball and 1 strike. And on the other side of the ball game, there's another guy who's homered in his debut tonight. Pierce Bowerly, a 2-run shot in his first at-bat at that with the Thrillville Thrillbillies. Makes a statement early, but the Bean Ballers have since taken the lead. Omer deals. Weiss fouls it off to the right. Weiss fouls off a pitch in on the hands on a slider at 79. It's still a 1-2 count. And Weiss's first hit with Decatur was not a home run. In fact, it only traveled about 50 feet on the infield. It was a bunt single back on June the 30th in his debut against the Danville Dans. 1-2, misses well. And Omer has already walked a pair in the inning. He's given up a hit to Fabriette. That was just Decatur's second hit of the ball game, but they already have 5 runs. The walks have come back to bite the Thrillbillies. Payoff pitch. Weiss fouls it back into the screen.
That's also something you're going to see from a lot of teams that...
By Thrillbillies pitching, and that's the 3rd one Omer has handed out. The 4th straight guy reaches, all after Omer got the first 2 outs, and now with the bases juiced again, it's Hampton Petska to the plate looking for some redemption.
Yeah, Omer did something he didn't...
Kicked off his glove, and it went in the direction of first base, but he tried to collect it, couldn't collect it as he tried to collect it with the glove. This is all after the comebacker bounced off the bare hand of Omer on the mound. So 2 runs come in to score for Decatur on.
So that's going to end the inning, and there's a 2-base format here in Decatur. There's the white base, and then there's a neon orange base. And since Petka turned and headed for second, he needed to stand on the white base, and said he was standing on the orange base, and so they tagged him out, and so he's going to be out, and that's going to end the inning.
It will be the first hit of Hampton Petska's Bean Ballers Bean Ballers career, and his 2nd RBI. 2-run score on the play. Overall, 5 in the inning. Thrillbillies lineup, Jarius Atkinson, Nathan Jessup, and then at the top of the order with TJ Costello. First pitch for both teams. The pace of play picks up as the 2-0 is slapped foul down the first base line, 2 balls and 1 strike. Atkinson, a native of Danville, Illinois, but chose to come down south to Marion, Illinois to play for the Thrillbillies. Spent last season at John A. Logan. Is here in the bottom of the 2nd.
That's just tough. Not what you wanted to see. Because now you have a 4-run.
Frederick Ragsdale III. Runner goes. The pitch in is a strike. Throw down from Reynolds is not quite in time. Atkinson was running and standing up. Must not have known how close a play it would be, but inside, ball 2 to Jessup. So after Atkinson walked on 5, 1 on either side of the infield and behind home plate. 2-1 hit sharply. Fabriette a sliding stop. Gets up. Toss across the diamond is not on line. Petska stops it.
It's short.
Line. And he'll get the error. Might be what it is. It's now a 2-1 count to Costello. He had a 3-1 count before he bounced out his first time up. The 2-1 misses inside, and it now is a 3-1 count. Costello from Austin Peay State University, a native of Pleasanton, California. Bean Ballers with a couple of California natives on the roster. 3-1. Swings and misses. Behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Because on a 3-1 pitch, he swung and missed, but his backswing hit the catcher, Jackson Miller. It's now a new catcher, Gage Reynolds, behind the plate who pinch.
Back 0-2 has him out in front of a ball, and even though it's deep in the hole at third for Farnes, he's still able to get it over there, and Petska, nice scoop over.
A long, hard single. Riley
Swings in favorable counts that favor you.
First pitch low and away on a breaking ball to Pierce Bowerly, who ambushed a pitch up and in, turned and burned, and blasted a 2-run home run back in the first. His first at-bat with the Thrillbillies was a 4-bagger. And Linderman takes a few checks to Ifring at first. And they've now completely taken the error.
Top of the third here in Mtn Dew Park as the sun begins to set in Marion, Illinois. Truman, Griessel, Daniel Herzog here with you. And Bean Ballers lead 7-5. And Daniel, they only have 3 hits. But if there's something that Decatur's done well, it's capitalizing on the free passes that they have been given. They have been walked 8 times in the first 2 innings. And, well, 7 of those 8 walks have come around to score. Or, excuse me, 6 of those 8 walks. And it lands in the glove of Atkinson. Out and left, 1 pitch, 1 out to begin the Decatur third. Walked twice. First pitch from Omer. Breaking ball, up ball 1. Would come in as the team leader with 24, but...
Yeah, this is a slider that Abernathy just... gives up a little too early.
Below the knees for a ball. Applegate drove in a run on a sacrifice fly to left when he came up in the second. Him and Abernathy are now batting for the 3rd time in as many innings. Deep breath from Omer. The 1-0. Outside 2-0. Was with O'Neal Feliz on deck for the Bean Ballers. Applegate wishes that last night's matchup against Lafayette was not the last one, as he was a part of 3 of them and went 6 for 17 with one night. Backs him off the plate, ball 1. Feliz comes in having hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games, but the only game he tag a Matusak can get laid on him. So he moves into scoring position, and Feliz has a chance to drive in a run.
Yeah, and both
now delivers to Feliz. Lined over the head and off the glove of Costello at second into right field. Applegate trots home. There's RBI number 20. And Feliz extends his hitting streak, and it's now 8-5 Decatur.
And the Bean Ballers again score with 2 outs. We talked about it last night. Each of the first 5 runs were all scored after they had bases empty 2-out situations. Decatur puts up another run this inning With a bases out, empty 2-out situation, Felice just puts this
of the summer. We head to the bottom of the third here in Marion. The Bean Ballers lead now up to 3, 8-5. Went over to second. Applegate takes care of it. Went over to second. Applegate takes care of it. And the first batter, the third, is retired.
Yeah, this ball is hit rather sharply, and Wunroder gets down the line incredibly well, but can't quite outrun it as Applegate just makes a nice play, nice flip to Petska for out number 1. And you're looking for more of that if you're Gabe Arroyo. You want quick outs because you have sort of an arm shortage, and you want Linderman to go as far as he can.
Right-handed hitting Chase Niemeyer drove in a run with an RBI double his first time up. He swings at the first offering, lines it to Will Applegate, who snags it before it hits the ground. And a quick 2 outs, both courtesy of Will Applegate.
Yeah, this one is also sharply hit, but it carries enough that off the bat of Niemeyer, it flies right into the glove of Applegate, just above the turf. And there's now 2 away. And let's just keep it going. More quick outs from Linderman.
First pitch outside to Caden Matusak. Righty against righty. Matusak now 0 for 4. Just his second game here with the Thrillbillies. The 1-0. Golf down the left field line, but this one's going to hook foul. And all it is strike 1.
And maybe because it was more of a brief time in the dugout, Bean Ballers only got 1 last.
He had 66 career hits over those 63 games. 3-1, lined in the air, right center field. This is headed for the alleyway. It's going to fall and hop over the wall. There's the first career hit in a Thrillbillies uniform for Caden Matusak. It's an automatic double.
Yeah, and this is a good job.
First pitch to the left-handed hitting Jarius Atkinson is in for a strike at the knees. He walked and scored last inning. Matusak had 14 doubles at Crown Point High School. He's got his first. Blocked by Reynolds, but a great read from Matusak at second. He scampers to third, and now it's just 90 feet away.
Yeah, great read indeed, Truman. He was already hopping off the bag in anticipation of something in the dirt, and as soon as he sees Reynolds go down to block it, he's full speed ahead to third base, slides in safely without a throw.
Linderman back from the windup. The 1-2 is out in front of Atkinson. He lines it well, found on the right field line. Count remains the same. Atkinson hitting right at the Mendoza line, 200. He's got a career that Atkinson had at Schlarman High School in Danville, Illinois. Hit .538 in his career, hit .763 his senior season. 1-2's outside. I mean, .763. He was getting a hit 7 out of every 10 at-bats. He had 29 hits, including 10 home runs.
Wow. So over a third of his hits were home runs.
Stays alive, fouls another pitch off of Linderman. Still 2-2. Atkinson without a homer yet in his Prospect League career. We're hoping it doesn't come tonight. This is just his 7th at-bat here at home. He was just 1 for 6 previously. The 2-2's an ankle biter, and he gets out of the way of it. Count is now full as Atkinson has come all the way back. And while the reason for Atkinson, this is only his 7th at-bat here at home, is because of the lengthy road trip that the Thrillbillies were on before they finally played at home last night. That was their first home game of July.
But nonetheless, he fights off several pitches and he works a walk.
Luckily, does not score. Now runners at second and third for Jessup.
Yeah, that was a big bounce. The padding is a lot bouncier here at Mtn Dew Park than it is.
Through 3 innings, It's not.
Has only walked a guy in each of the first 3 innings. Has only walked a guy in each of the first 3 innings. 3 walks is 6 fewer than the walks that the Bean Ballers have drawn at the plate. We've walked 9 times.
Tony back to the dugout. The 1-0. Lined in the air to center, slicing away from Abernathy on the line in the air to center, slicing away from Abernathy on the run. He dives, he lays out, and he makes the grab.
Yeah, Omer settled in well. It was a lot better in the 3rd than it was.
And it drove home his 12th and 13th RBIs. He has continued to swing it. Drove home his 12th and 13th RBIs. He has continued to swing it. He's now 11 for 29 his last 9 games. Hitting well over 350. That's been a sight to be seen. Now that he's been consistently playing every day since Carter Rich had to hang it up with the Bean Ballers. Out swinging does Fabriette, strikes out for the 2nd time. And it's 2 batters up, 2 batters down. Outside corner for a strike. Bean Ballers found a way to score last inning with outside corner for a strike. Bean Ballers found a way to score last inning with 2 outs and nobody on. Will Applegate drew a walk. He stole second, and then O'Neill for 2 outs and nobody on. Will Applegate drew a walk. He stole second, and then O'Neill Feliz knocked him in on a single to right center. I got 9 walks on the year. 1-1 pitch. Grounded up the middle. Tough play, Matasic. 1-1 pitch. Grounded up the middle. Tough play, Matasic. Slides to his left. Gets up. Spins. Fires. Gets him. It's the right-handed arm from Champaign, Illinois, Patrick Kennedy, who takes over for Charlie Linderman here in the 4th. Kennedy making his Bean Ballers debut here on Thursday, July 16th. Joined the team today. Hot-handed arm pitched in 7 games this past spring at Lakeland College, scoring for first 5 half innings. Neither team has scored the last 2 half innings. So the first batter rate, the 1-0's downstairs, 2-0 to no walk. Bean Ballers certainly need it. Linderman only made it 3. You've got no walk. Might see Schaefer Ogle make his Bean Ballers debut.
First, but he's been a Thrillbilly this whole season. Just his 4th stolen base.
Kennedy steps off the rubber. Re-gets the sign from Reynolds, said he couldn't see it. The 2-2 pitch. Grounded on to the left side. Febriette gloves it on the run, throws across, and it's off the glove of Petska. No walk reaches. Costello up to third. Now runners at the corners with nobody out.
Yeah, Febriette's an aggressive hitter, but he's also a really aggressive in the field. As he's not one to stop his momentum, plant, and then throw. He's one to throw on the run, and he throws this one as he's running completely towards third base and puts it in the ground. It's something that Petska certainly could have dug out, but he doesn't dig it out in this case. But
left side, one up the middle. He's now got 10 hits on the year. It's also his 4th multi-hit game. He's got a chance to drive in a run. The 0-1 pitch. Skied in the air, left center field. Abernathy to his right. Makes the grab. TJ Costello tags. He'll trot home. And it's a sacrifice fly, cutting the Bean Ballers' lead to 2.
That's a good job. You're willing to trade an out for a run if you're Kennedy just to get that first out. Get yourself a registered ERA and not an infinite number, but this is a good job.
His first time up. Kennedy's first pitch. Lined in the air, deep center field. Abernathy on the run, in front of the warning track, makes the grab for out number 2.
Just 12 days following Independence Day in America, it's the Independence, Kentucky native Davis Beal, the new arm to the mound for the Thrillville Thrillbillies. He'll relieve the right-hander on the mound. 3rd innings pitch. He's only struck out 2. And for Beal, his last outing, his debut came on June 30th at the Du Bois County Bombers, pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up a hit and no runs, but then really got bounced around his second outing. An inning pitched against the Kokomo Creek Chubs, 3 hits in that one, gave up 6 at the end of last inning, but Patrick Kennedy stranded another run. Single on the infield. He has his first extra base hit as he ambushed him. He has his first extra base hit as he ambushes a fastball from Beal to greet him with a leadoff double here in the top of the 5th. Now Keegan Farnes to the plate. Farnes himself looking for his first base hit. That's just base hit number 5 on the day for Decatur, but they lead this one 8-6, and we're not even halfway through, nearing the 2-hour mark in this ball game. Beal peeks at Petska, deals home. Farnes check swing, no swing. It's ball 1 downstairs. Again, no hits today. He's 0 for 1, but drew a walk his first time up. Stole a pair of bags and scored. Back in that 5-run second inning for Decatur. Beal deals. Farnes swings and misses. A fastball outer half. Can't reach out to. And it's 1 ball outside. Farnes can't quite get to. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And it was field. Meant he wasn't tagged out in that trip around the bags and came around to score. The 1-2. Farnes takes outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Third base. Certainly a very close play Bowerly nearly got to it, but nonetheless, it's just a foul ball, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, we've seen some great plays tonight out of both sides. That one just too bit long of a run from Bowerly, but right here if you're Beal, you'd like to get Farnes with the strikeout. If you're Farnes, you're trying to put something in play to the right side. At least get Petska to third.
Petska standing on second after his leadoff double. 2-2 count to Farnes. And he calls time at the plate. The infield now heavily shading him to pull with Costello well over towards first base bag. Now he creeps a little bit more towards second to cover the hole between Ifrig and Matusak. 2-2 pitch. Farnes takes in the dirt. A back pick back to second, but Petska slides back in time.
That's a nice job from the big
Niemeyer, and Petska gets an extra 90 feet. Farnes with his second walk of the day is now to first, and Petska moves up to third on the wild pitch. Now it's the top of the order. Nobody out. Runners at the corners. Brandon Abernathy to the plate for Decatur.
That's a great read from Hampton Petska because that's a pitch in the dirt that Niemeyer blocks. It actually goes in front of him a little bit, but he thinks it goes behind him. And
on the speedy Farnes, and he has his third stolen base of the day. Overall on the season, that is stolen bag number 22 for Keegan Farnes.
Yeah, it was a nice jump, and then he slides
back. Farnes advances after Petska scores, and it's now a 9-6 ball game.
I've seen that a couple times from Thrill.
Takes ball one just inside. This has been an issue for the Thrillbillies. The bullpen giving up runs. They gave up both runs last night against the Du Bois County. Truman still score. He doesn't. He scores standing up, but nonetheless, he scores the second run of the inning, and the Bean Ballers are now into double figures. It's a 10-6 lead for Decatur.
Yeah, this pitch is spiked, and Niemeyer does everything to try and get in front of this ball, but it just hops up, and it takes a big hop, might even clip the top of his chest protector, gets all the way to the backstop, and that's just one of those misses.
Have another base runner aboard in this inning. A one-out single from Applegate. O'Neal Felice now to the plate.
And just a nice piece of hitting. 2-1. It's a fastball that's middle away, but gets the barrel to it and just lines it into center field. It's a great piece of hitting from Applegate.
So now Felice to the plate. Singled his last time up, which scored Applegate back in the third. The Bean Ballers, both teams rather, have just 1-0 on the scoreboard as this pitch is up. Applegate steals on the play, slides in safely as the throw from Niemeyer was high. The Bean Ballers now have a runner on second. Well, something interesting during my prep for this game, Truman, I realized is Marion is pretty much due south from Decatur. But I want you to guess which
I think I'm going to have to say Mtn Dew Park.
1-1's chopped foul at the plate. It's a 1-2 count on Felice. And I'm sorry, but you are incorrect by a margin of 0.02 degrees.
Now with 2 out.
And it says exactly 1.38. It's probably a little bit less than that. I think in my research it said something like 3/4 of a mile was how far further west Workman Family Baseball Field is than Mtn Dew Park. But nonetheless, it is further west, despite the fact that the Bean Ballers are part of the Eastern Conference. Thrillbillies part of the Western Conference. But the Thrillbillies are part of the Southern Division.
Reynolds, he's got another double, and he thought he was going to have a night off, and he's come in and been a contributor.
Brady Grabowski now to the plate. First pitch Grabowski takes for strike last summer. Free pulled pork sandwich if he strikes out. 1-2's upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm sure that Grabowski is wanting to do everything in his power to avoid the punch-out.
Oh, yeah, he's donning the Decatur blue, not the Thrillville orange. And the right side, there's a big hole. Just nice little inside-out swing, light gauge run.
We are halfway done here at Mtn Dew Park. Halfway done here at Mtn Dew Park. And it's the right-hander back on the mound from Champaign, Illinois, Patrick Kennedy. For his second inning of work, pitched around some damage, did give up a run back in the first, but got a pair of deep flyouts, won a pair of battles, and ultimately kept the lead for the Bean Ballers, who extended it, left with the mound with a 2-run lead. It's now a 5-run lead after a 3-spot in the top of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th now for the Thrillbillies, and still third time through the order. 6, 7, 8 due up. Chase Niemeyer, Caden Matusak, and Jarius Atkinson due up for the Thrillbillies.
And you'd love for Kennedy. It started his night with a hit by pitch, then an error didn't help him out, but he got some help from his defense to get the final 3 outs, and just getting that first inning under your belt. Barrel out there, so if you're Kennedy, you can't be that mad. But still, nonetheless, it's a double.
So now, after some delay, it is Chase Niemeyer to the plate. Takes ball 1. Niemeyer himself has a double today. That aforementioned RBI double to score Bernruder back in the first inning. But is originally from right here in Marion. Kennedy from the stretch. On the first base side of the rubber, a long peek at second, deals home. Breaking ball misses inside. It's now 2 balls and 1 strike.
And occasionally, Kennedy will break out the big leg kick, and Bernruder knows that he got a great jump, but break out the big leg kick, and Bernruder knows that he got a great jump, but didn't steal this last pitch. We'll see if he tries to steal third in this at-bat.
2-1 pitch. Hit sharply but foul. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes now, the count to Niemeyer. Niemeyer didn't play his freshman season at John A. Logan. Just his at-bats this summer with the Thrillbillies. The 2-2 fouled off. And that RBI double for him was his first extra base hit sharply down the right field line, but it hooks foul and out of play.
Again, it's the big leg kick of Kennedy. Usually you don't want to say, hey, go to a slide step with a runner at second, but Berner's got a couple of great jumps and might also not only throw off the runner's timing, it might throw off the timing of Niemeyer at the plate that Kennedy could get a strikeout.
2-2 count. Kennedy, a long look back to second, deals home, runner doesn't go. The pitch is just downstairs on a fastball. And now the count is full to Niemeyer. Talked about for Patrick Kennedy in his young Bean Ballers career.
And just blows the heater by him, challenge.
Matusak flies out. And now Jarius Atkinson to the plate, trying to bring in a run with 2 outs.
Yeah, nice job. One pitch, one out, getting right back in the zone after a long battle with Niemeyer. First pitch gets Matusak to fly to center. Now with 2 outs, you just go right at Jarius Atkinson. He's walked twice, but go right at him, try to get this 3rd out, throw up another 0.
Atkinson hits from the left side. First pitch, a breaking ball backdoor for strike 1. A good job to start things off against Atkinson, who walked on 5 pitches his first time up, but was a lengthy at-bat his second time against Linderman. Ultimately, same result, though. Swings and tips one into the glove of Reynolds. It's now no balls and 2 strikes. A deep breath for Kennedy. 0-2. He deals home. Just off the outside corner. Misses on a fastball at 84. It's now a 1-2 count to Atkinson. Atkinson, who came in, had already drawn 12 walks as he takes another pitch just outside. This one, close play, but the field umpire says foul ball.
Yeah, much to the disdain of many people in the crowd.
Third, and the Thrillbillies don't score. They squander a leadoff double. We go to the 6th inning. Bean Ballers still lead this one 11-6.
Top of the 6th here in Marion, and what do you know? It's another John A. Logan
Inning and got a big 0 hung up by Patrick Kennedy. Dorsey's just going to look to follow suit and hope his offense can come back. Thrillville has put up 10 or more runs in 2 of the last 4
inning. He's given up runs in back-to-back appearances. He's looking to return to his form. The first 2 outings of his summer, July 2nd. July 2nd and July 5th against the Rex and Creek Jubs. He combined for 5 shutout innings on just 2 hits, with 5 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and 3 in the 5th. That's how they've gotten to 11. First pitch to Moises Februet is swung on and missed for strike 1. Februet 1 for 3. Februet 1 for 3 his first 3 trips. First time facing Dorsey. Februet will be attending Tennessee Westland this next collegiate season. After he spent last year at Fisher College. The 1-2 from Dorsey. Backs Februet off the plate, 2-2. Februet looking for his 20th hit of the year if he can find a base hit in this at-bat. The 2-2 pitch. Popped up, back behind home. Niemeyer gives it a look. This one's going to escape back into the crowd. And we'll do it again.
Yeah, Februet can get a good swing on something, especially if it's over the middle of the plate, and just return it to center. There's a gaping hole up the middle as Matusak is well over towards the third base line in the hole at short. So he's got to shorten that swing up just the tiniest bit.
Another 2-2 off the plate, 3-2. Chase Weiss on deck. If Februet can find a hit, he would be the 7th member of the 20-hit club in this inaugural season of Bean Ballers baseball. Payoff pitch now from Dorsey. Outside corner freezes Februet.
Base runner.
Brings in Hampton Petska. He's working on a 2-hit performance after he came in hitless into this game. Petska's now got a single and a double. And an RBI. And may as well top it off with a run scored. First pitch from Dorsey. Weiss to second. It's a strike. The throw down on them. Now cleared with 2 outs. The 0-1 to Petska. Wow, out in front of a slider. 0-2. Thrillville.
And although his first hit technically did drive in a run, I'll bet it's that double last inning for Petska that was a lot more rewarding, and it really felt like the monkey was off his back because he did end up making an out on the play from the first hit. Did not do that in the second hit.
1-2 at the knee, strikes him out. A 1-2-3 inning. Before we get in the bottom of the 6th here, mentioned earlier in the game, here at Mtn Dew Park, one of the special things is that it's free concessions. Limit 2 entrees, 2 sides, and 2 drinks per person per visit. But, you know, Daniel figured they've got the classic ballpark staples, burgers, hot dogs, fries, but they've got a unique item, the toasted ravioli. So I've got some here for us, and, you know, this will be our first, maybe only, in-game taste test. But why don't you get yourself some of that ravioli?
Let's do it.
Got you some marinara sauce too. I'll get like this just to try it. So here we go.
Now we'll do the same. Let's see what we're looking at. You have already tried this, correct?
I had this pregame. I thought it was pretty good. It's it's a little crunchy on the initial bite, but the more you get into it, I mean, the cheese hits nicely again. I just think my only complaint is I'm not a cheese ravioli guy. I prefer the beef ravioli or the meat-filled ravioli.
Really?
But I mean, again, here's the cheeseburger. You know, your normal burger wrapped in your normal tin. But here I'll go for my first bite of this cheeseburger. That's certainly a cheeseburger. A little juicy patty. Interesting, the cheese is on the bottom side of the bun. You know, if we're getting real analytical, it's on the bottom side.
Get 2 entrees, 2 drinks, so I got each of us fries and cheeseburgers. And I made sure to get plenty of ketchup, but you're not a ketchup guy.
No, I prefer to eat food for what it is. I was going to get us chicken bites. That is the other unique item here in Thrillville. Chicken bites. Off to second is Jessup, and no chance for Gage Reynolds. He had a massive lead over there at first, so he swiped second.
Yeah,
Pitch was a strike to TJ Costello.
You talk about that leg kick from Kennedy. Sometimes it might get him into trouble, but he was able to work out of it last inning. We'll see if he's able to do the same this one.
Yeah, and then our final food item up here in the first and only Decatur food test of the season. We got normal French fries, but they are seasoned well. Pitch off the plate to Costello, 1-1.
I agree with you there, Truman. I'm still going to eat them with the ketchup, but I can tell that there are fries that it's okay to eat.
You taught me better than that. Apologize to my mother for talking with my mouth full of French fries.
Oh, no. Mrs. Griessel, you've raised a great son. He's in the practice of writing thank yous. Doesn't always not talk with food in his mouth, but certainly a great broadcaster as well.
Pitch misses downstairs, 2-2. In the glove of Kennedy, gloved by Applegate. His throw is low, but it's gloved by Petska at first. For out number 1, Jessup to third. But Costello is retired for the 3rd time today.
Yeah, good job on all fronts. It looked like Kennedy wanted to make a stab at that ball. He held up. Applegate fields it and throws on the run, and then Petska, who we've seen dig out a few throws in the dirt. He hasn't dug out a few throws in the dirt today, but overall it looks like he's getting better there. He digs this one out and gets a big out, number 1.
Now it's Mark Nowak with a runner at third, 1 out. First pitch to him, slider catches the outside corner for a strike.
You know, it is a little sad they don't have free concessions at every ballpark around the Prospect League. So if we want to do this again, we'd have to do it on our own dime.
Well, we'll be in Clinton again. Clinton gave us free concessions tickets as a swing and a miss on another slider from Nowak. So we may come Clinton, which is not this Sunday, but next Sunday. The final Sunday game of the inaugural season will be in Clinton, Iowa. But overall, I think if I'd had to rate this food, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. You also get free drinks, so got to factor that in. The 0-2's fouled off by Nowak, but I believe, was it Pepsi or Coke products? I didn't pay that much attention.
Pepsi. You know.
It is Pepsi, and my broadcast partner pointed out my cup says Pepsi, so we're going to go with Pepsi. Pepsi products at Mtn Dew Park. Felt unique today. Went with the pink lemonade.
Oh.
Another O2's upstairs, 1 and 2.
I originally went with the Pepsi, and I actually haven't.
Real feeling it, but I don't know, man. Water just tastes so good.
Yeah, water. Nothing tastes better than cold water, especially when you really need it.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am not a hot tea guy. I'm a cold, sweet tea guy. But other than that, yeah, no, I'm a big water guy as well. Completely agree with you there.
Counts 1 and 2 on Nowak.
From Applegate, who looks rather uncomfortable after that sliding stab at it. But it's now an 11-7 ball game. And if you're the Beanballs, you want nothing more than a double play right here.
Second RBI of the game for Nowak, 16.
Well over the head of Weiss. It bangs up against the wall, and it's now an 11-7 ball game still.
First pitch to Bowerly. Slider on the inside corner for a strike.
Well, Truman, I am going to go cut off the video portion. I'm sure whatever we post is going to be far shorter than Bowerly, who hit the ball hard. His first time up, just got under it to center. Doesn't get under this one and blisters it through the left side. And 1 run in.
It's Hayden Bernruder, who's 1 for 2 with a double and a walk tonight. 2 runs have already scored in the inning for the Thrillbillies of Mtn Dew Ballpark Thrillville Thrillbillies concessions food.
It really just depends on what kind of scale you use.
Concessions food.
It really just depends on what kind of scale you use. If you're using just like concessions food at a ballpark, I would probably give it
2. Kennedy now 1 out away from just allowing the 2 runs.
And that's a big out to get, especially because the Beanballers haven't really fared well on those little flares that are into foul ground that hang up there for a while, and sometimes they overcommit. Sometimes they don't get to the spot in time, and Farnes gets over to this one in time. They don't get to the spot in time, and Farnes gets over to this one in time, and he adjusts a little.
Niemeyer struck out swinging back in the 5th, the only time he's faced Kennedy here tonight. The 0-1. Line in the air to center. On comes Abernathy, and he makes the grab to retire. Scores 11-8 here in this game between the Beanballers and the Thrillbillies here as we enter the 7th. But Daniel, what's going on around the rest of this great prospect league on a wonderful Thursday in mid-July?
Yeah, let's hop into this vehicle with Dean the Beanball and Bear. We're taking you around the prospect league and
coming
2027. Speaking of vehicles, rather, the Champion City half trip of the Hoots. It's the top of the 8th. So down to their final 6 outs are the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes, and they're chasing 8 runs at home. They trail 15-7 to the Burlington Bees. Meanwhile, the Terre Haute Rex are also in the second half. Their 16th win of the second half, 17th win in a row. 11-0 over the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. And the Alton River Dragons chasing 4 runs down to their final 9 outs. It's top 7, the Jackson Rockabilly. Decatur can hold this one out. They'll get another game back on everyone.
Well, you never say never, but it's looking good for Decatur here. And again, we're not talking about the playoffs, but there's still a small chance. First pitch to Keegan Farnes in the 7th is upstairs for a ball from Ethan Dorsey, who's back out for his 2nd inning of work. He struck out 2 and faced the minimum last inning. Farnes has scored 2 runs, stolen 3 bags, courtesy of 2 walks. Takes a strike, 1-1. It's his first time facing Dorsey.
But he has drawn his fair share of walks, 15 on the year coming into today, a pair today, and he steals bags well.
Farnes pops one up, third base side, but it's going to escape into the seats. And that's what they say in baseball. Your 9-hole hitter can be your second leadoff hitter, flipping the lineup card over to your actual leadoff hitter, but just because he's batting ninth doesn't mean he's not very good. Farnes is anything but that. The 2-2 backs him off the plate again, 3-2. Count is
Bags with how inefficient and just inconsistent the Bean Ballers bullpen has been this season, but especially of late. Decatur just wants more runs. They have 11, but sometimes that might not be enough.
First pitch to Brandon Abernathy, clips the top of the zone for a strike. Abernathy walked his first 2 times up and scored both times.
The bat that he has on his shoulder and foul pitches off. We've seen him do that several times. He's got to.
As the ball dribbled up the third base line, Farnes moves into scoring position with nobody out.
Yeah, and maybe Abernathy doesn't need to put something in play. He just needs to watch a pitch. And while we talked about Farnes being very similar to that of a leadoff hitter, Abernathy is the epitome of a leadoff hitter. Very good plate discipline, gets on base well, runs well, and puts the ball in play.
The 2-2 from Dorsey. Slap foul from Abernathy, stays alive. Abernathy, a .273 hitter here in the month of July. He's been arguably the most consistent Bean Ballers hitter. He's been here since May 26th. He hit .268 in the month of June. He's at .273 here in the month of July.
200s, 270, 280, 290, and getting on base well, playing really solid defense.
Farnes again dancing off second. The 7th pitch of the at-bat. Slider gets him. Abernathy waves over the top of it and strikes out.
Yeah, big difference in speed from Doyle. He had high 80s fastball. Now he slows it all the way down. This last pitch is at 70 miles per hour, and he buries this bender in the dirt, and all Abernathy can do is swing over the top of it.
Abernathy, it's probably safe to say by the end of this season, will have set the record in Bean Ballers history for at-bats, hits, triples, runs scored, and walks. Dorsey turns and gives a look to Keegan Farnes, who dashes back into the bag, no throw. While at the moment does not look like it'll be a playoff appearance, never say never. The 0-1 to Applegate. Misses the inside corner, 1-1. It's Applegate's 5th turn at the dish. He's 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored, 3 stolen bases, and an RBI. Base hit would easily score Farnes in this situation.
Probably about 10 feet shy of leaving this yard. Farnes easily scores, and Applegate running hard out of the box, not knowing whether it's gone or.
He was just a few feet shy from.
That's really what it's been tonight. That's really what it's been tonight.
0-2. Little chin music to Feliz, 1-2.
It was a walk to Farnes to start this inning. Applegate tripled him home. Back in the third, it was a walk to Applegate. He stole a bag, and then Feliz singled him home. And then back in the second, Petska had a single that scored Grabowski, also scored Fabriette. Grabowski walked earlier in that inning, and Fabriette had a single that scored Gage Reynolds earlier in the.
A lot of their free passes given out. A 2-2 to Feliz. A lot of their free passes given out. A 2-2 to Feliz. Breaking ball freezes him. He strikes out looking. And it's a big strikeout for Dorsey for the second out.
Yeah, Feliz just gives up on this pitch. It looks like there's a lot of dip on that curveball, and it ends up in the zone, and he's frustrated with himself as he's now down on strikes for the second straight at bat. But still a chance for the Bean Ballers to get another run back and try to match that 2 spot from the Thrillbillies last inning, with Applegate on third and now Gage Reynolds to the plate.
RBI double his last time up. First pitch from Dorsey off the plate, 1-0. The Bean Ballers have walked 11 times tonight as a team. 8 of those 11 walks have come around to score. The 1-0. Off the hands, fouled off to the first base sign, 1-1 against Reynolds. He came on in the second inning after Jackson Miller left. Since then, Reynolds has walked and scored, grounded into a fielder's choice, and hit an RBI double. The 1-1 just misses the outside corner, 2-1.
A great job, a very quick frame by Niemeyer.
Games they've put up 10 or more runs in a game. You go back to Saturday, make it 5 straight games, they put up 5 or more.
For 8 straight games where Decatur couldn't plate 5 runs, and now it seems like 5 runs and up, grounded out the next inning. But since then, an RBI double, an RBI single. Applegate's done a really good job at the plate, driving in runs and also getting on base, but Reynolds has been there to drive him in now back-to-back times.
First pitch to Brady Grabowski's off the plate, 1-0. It's back-to-back multi-hit performances for Gage Reynolds. He's now 4 for his last 7 after he was 2 for 24 his previous 8 games. The 1-0 outside to Grabowski, 2-0. Bean Ballers lead back to 5, now 13-8 as Will Applegate trotted home. Grabowski tonight 1 for 3, and he's way ahead 3-0.
When he runs into the middle of the zone, that's right down the middle for both sides.
Is Travis Hope. There is a man starting to get up in the right field bullpen for Thrillville. This home game was the second of 3 consecutive home games in this week, as they'll play tomorrow night against the Lucky Horseshoes before Saturday they've got a doubleheader against the Illinois Valley Pistol Shrimp. As for Decatur, well, they head home to take on those. Mound visit done. Febriette into the box. He's got 2 men on, 2 out. 13-8 Decatur leads. First pitch from Dorsey. Swing and foul tipped by Febriette, strike 1. He's 1 for 4 tonight. His big strike 1. He's 1 for 4 tonight. His big contribution was a 2-run single back in the second. But he struck out 3 times. He's already.
Yeah, if it's 1-0, I think he takes that pitch, but already in the hole with a strike. Looks like a strike, so he wants to put it in play, but it ends up just
before. Decatur gets 2 runs on 2 hits, an RBI triple from Will Applegate, and an RBI single from Gage Reynolds. Extend the lead back to 5 for Decatur. Time to stretch here in Thrillville with the Thrillbillies down to their final 9 outs.
And we need everybody to join us. It's our tradition. We're going to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
New pitcher out of the bullpen for the Bean Ballers, Schaefer Ogle, making his Decatur debut. The Sullivan, Illinois native, representing the Big Blue of Millikan University. And how about that? In his debut, he gets to throw to his Big Blue backstop, Gage Reynolds. He takes over after Patrick Kennedy gave up 3 runs in 3 innings on 4 hits, struck out 2, walked 1, and hit a batter. But he maneuvered around traffic and now gives way for Ogle, who's possibly looking to get the 9-out save in his debut.
Yeah, and he's just going to be...
Not pitched this past spring at Milliken. Right-handed, works out of the windup. The 0-1, just below the zone 1-1. But according to perfect game coming out of the state of Indiana in the class of 2025. Excuse me, class of 2026.
Class of 2026. Doesn't that make you feel old, Truman? We're class of 2024 guys, and there's already been now 2 classes after us that will be entering college.
Or guys drafted to the major leagues then.
Wow, yeah.
The 2-2. Off the end of the bat, dribbled up the first base line, picked up by Hampton. Petska steps on the bag and gets Matusak.
Matusak for out number 1.
First pitch is outside to Jarius Atkinson, 1-0. It was literally a swing that everyone thought was going to be called a foul ball or a hit by pitch, but off the knob. 1-0 to Atkinson, high and away, 2-0. Ogle run it in there in the high 80s. The 2-0. Inside corner, 2-1. Atkinson has walked twice and strikeout in a Bean Ballers uniform for Schaefer Ogle.
Yeah, he just keeps moving these fastballs higher and higher, and eventually, Atkinson.
First pitch from Ogle, fouled straight back into the netting, 0-1. Jessup, this is his first year in the Prospect League. Last year he spent it in the Great Lakes. Collegiate League with the Grand Lakes Mariners. Hit .250.
It's the right-hander from right here in Marion, Illinois, Brady Jackson, to the mound, who spent his last season at Lewis and Clark Community College. And the righty enters a game that the Bean Ballers lead 13-8. Welcome back into the official YouTube channel for your Decatur Bean Ballers. Daniel Herzog, Truman Griessel with you as we've been with you for every game so far this season, as we'll continue to be with you for every game the rest of the way. And for Jackson, he comes in. This is his 4th appearance. This as well, if anyone reaches. But Fabriette was at the plate, and he had a 1-2 count when Gage Reynolds was caught stealing third base last inning. And Jackson is the new arm to greet him. First pitch, Fabriette hits sharply down the right field line, but it's out of play. Just a long, loud strike 1.
And each of the last 2 outings for Jackson, he's given up a home run. He gave up 4 runs on 3 hits in an inning against the River Dragons. Did strike out 3. And then you go back to July the 2nd, gave up 5 runs on 3 hits, recorded just 1 out against the Terre Haute Rex.
Fabriette hit a home run yesterday. Has a 2-run single today, but a trio of strikeouts. 0-1, he takes a slider away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's what I would say.
Now, I don't really know who coined the term, but
it's hard to say.
Yeah, as so many broadcasters have used it. 2-1, swung on and missed. Fabriette chases a slider. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's really been his kryptonite tonight. Wasn't a run his first time up, and then a 2-run home run his next time up in the 3rd. Payoff pitch is outside. Fabriette draws a walk. And the leadoff man is aboard for the Bean Ballers for the 2nd straight inning. And overall for Decatur, this is now one of several times that the leadoff runner has reached. They reached in the 1st, the 2nd, as well as the 5th, 7th, and the 8th. So the 5th time today that Decatur's leadoff man is reached, and Fabriette's on first. Chase Weiss now to the plate. First pitch, runner goes, check swing, and Niemeyer bobbles it at the plate. So Fabriette steals his 12th bag of the season. And Beanballers have a runner in scoring position as they look to add to this 5-run lead.
Yeah, trying to put this game out of reach are the Beanballers, and Ogle was very good in his 1 inning. He'll probably look to be very good in his final 2 innings, but Beanballers offense just looking for more. 13 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. 13 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for Decatur. 8 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Thrillbillies.
It's 10-11 here in Marion, Illinois. Central Time. 1-0 count. Runner goes again. It's hit to the right side on a chopper. Fabriette looks, and he's...
Well, also for Chase Weiss, he'll benefit. He should be credited with an RBI.
Costello.
Jackson pulls the string, but it's been a couple of groundouts, but Daniel, yet another walk comes around to score. Now the 12th. Yet another walk comes around to score. Now the 12th walk the Beanballers have drawn. 12th walk the Beanballers have drawn.
Now up to 22 stolen bases on the year to lead the team. Half swing sword on another breaking ball. Nothing in two. Removes the hat. Off of one of those Thrillbillies players in the dugout, Christoph Alexander, as there's another foul ball. This one a little closer to fair territory down the first base line. But Decatur has now put up 10 hits. Their last hit came last inning, an RBI single for Gage Reynolds. That was their 10th hit. The Thrillbillies down to the final 6 outs, chasing 6 runs on the official YouTube channel for your Decatur Bean Ballers. Similar to hang up possibly another 0 or has no hits today, and it's actually drove in a run on a ground out back in the 2nd and ground out back in the 1st. Walk to Costello, who reaches for the 2nd time today, and there's now a man on base, and Mark Nowak fastball at 87, and Nowak his last time up, which was back in the top of the 6th inning. Last inning that the Thrillbillies have scored in. An RBI single to right field. An RBI single to right field the other way, which scored Nathan Jessup. The other way, which scored Nathan Jessup. 3-0. Called strike. One is 3-0. Called strike. One is clubbed out to right field. Weiss looks up. He ranges back.
Will take that first out. Hopefully that'll spur him on to this final 2 outs in this 8th.
So now with 1 away, still 1 on. This one's clubbed out to center. Novominski ranges over. Rather, Abernathy ranges over and makes the catch for out number 2. A 1-pitch at bat again to Riley Ifrig, and he again flies out to Brandon Abernathy for the 2nd time today. 2 quick outs, and now Pierce Bowerly to the plate.
See, 1 out, you throw it in the zone, you get that all-important strike, and then you get a fly out, then the next
2-run home run, and since then fly out, and then RBI single. 1-0. Takes downstairs ball 2. So he has 2 of those 10 hits, but only 2-1 count. Misses downstairs, ball 3. Three balls, 1 strike, 2 away. Ogle's just looking for that third out. Infield shading Bowerly heavily to pull. So it's the second walk of the inning. And now Hayden Bernruder to the plate with 2 on, 2 out.
Yeah, just the second walk. Mant.
This is chopped down the first base line, but it rolls foul. Good job by Petzka to wait on. Good job by Petzka to wait on it, as that would have certainly been a tough play to first. His pitching staff has certainly been a lot more erratic today. It's part of the reason why teams are even in hits, but Decatur leads by 6 runs. 15 runs up. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. 15 runs up. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Bernruder chases a pitch in the dirt. It's out number 3. And for Ogle, that is strikeout number 2. We go to the 9th inning. Last Jackson back to the mound for the Thrillville Thrillbillies, and it's the 9th inning finally here at Mtn Dew Park as we're near. It appears we will severely undershoot that mark, but still a rather lengthy game, and the crowd is now don't remember much of the matchup since the trivia as Abernathy bounces one up the middle. It's his first base hit of the day. Third time he's reached. And the Bean Ballers leadoff man is on for the 3rd straight inning.
That's just a nice piece of hitting from Abernathy. Fastball over the middle of the plate. Grounds one up the middle into center field, and he just continues to find ways to be productive out of the leadoff spot. And there's a reason why Gabriel continues to slot him in there at the top of his batting lineup, night in and night out.
And now it's Will Applegate to the plate, and unfortunately, they haven't invented. Unfortunately for the Thrillbillies, they haven't invented a 6-run home run, but unfortunately for Applegate, they haven't invented a hit that you can have that nothing but production at the plate. Is outside, it's ball 2, and unfortunately, really for both teams, we have to play a bottom of the 9th. So if a 12-run inning would happen in the top half of this inning, we're playing the bottom of the 9th regardless of how long the top half takes. Back in Danville, it was the bottom of the 7th. So once Danville got a 10-run lead, the game was over. 2-1 pitch. Applegate takes strike 2 at the knees.
A nice pitch there from Jackson. It's got that east-west movement. That just caught the outside corner. Has a nasty pitch. He throws it again. Hard to see if it was a cutter or a slider.
2-2 pitch. Applegate clubs, but it's well foul off to the right and out of play. Truman Griessel put up his finger as to maybe think that was a home run, as he often does, and usually you are correct.
It is very muscle memory, I find, and sometimes it comes in awkward situations when I'm watching a game, maybe when I shouldn't be, or when something else is going on, and that happens, and I throw my hand up, and then someone thinks I'm calling on them or I want to be called on.
I will say it has been helpful of late, especially as the 2-2 is another breaking ball. This one's outside, ball 3. It was helpful at the beginning of the year for me. I came in with very little reps with play-by-play, so sometimes when you would put your hand up, I'd be like, oh, this ball might be leaving the yard, and it ends up leaving the yard.
It's that baseball instinct. I would say it has about a 70% success rate. Like, sometimes, yeah, it is, but, I feel like most of the time I know when a ball's gone or it's a nice hit.
Payoff pitch, Applegate takes up.
He has one tonight, but he's
7 on his season. Recently committed to be a Screaming Eagle at Southern Indiana University. 1-0 pitch. Felice swings and misses. Behind a fastball at 86.
Well, I'm certainly excited, being a Lindenwood man myself, that the Screaming Eagles should be coming to St. Charles, Missouri next spring to play the Lions. So we'll have to reconnect with O'Neill and see how Division I baseball's been treating him come spring 2027.
Yes. Instead of a long ball, Felice also hasn't hit a triple yet this season, but he did last spring with Florence Darlington Technical College. 8 doubles, a triple, and 8 home runs. Drove in 55 and hit .347. First team all-region catcher. Well outside, ball 4. Felice draws a
2. And he could really put the stamp on this road win for the Bean Ballers, which, shockingly, in this inaugural season, it feels like they should have so many more, but this hopefully will only be their 4th road win of the year. They came in 3-14 on the road compared to 11-12 inside Workman Family Field. Granted, they have a lot of road games left the final 3 weeks of the year. Obviously, the rest of this week, 3 of their final.
Pods full of beans. Gage Reynolds. RBI for Reynolds. And there's now 2 away with a runner still on third. Bean Ballers now lead 15-8.
Yeah, he gets good wood on this ball, but it hits the mound. I think that's what slows it down. If it hopped over the mound, I think this had a chance to get into center field, but a nice job from Matusak. Fields it, steps on the bag, gets 2 outs, and only allowing 1 run to score.
So Abernathy scores. Felice cut down and Applegate to third on the play. First pitch to Brady Grabowski is outside, and we're going to up, and it's so the Corn Belters take down the Rex 14-4 in 8 innings, and the Burlington Bees hold on. They had an 8-run lead. They make it 9, 16-7 over the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes. So the Bean Ballers, should they close this one out, would be the only Central Division team to win a game. And we talked about, we entered yesterday, there was 6.5 games between Decatur and Terre Haute is at the top. There's now 5.5. Now 5 after the Rex lose. Decatur looking to make it 4.5. It's now a 3-1 count to Grabowski, his 6th term at Mtn Dew Park. Bean Ballers and the Thrillbillies down to their final 3 outs. They're chasing 7 runs. Thrillville actually had the lead after the first inning. Decatur put up a 2-spot. Thrillville put up a 3-spot. But since then, there's immediate response from Decatur with 5 in the second. And they've ran away with this one. It's now 15-8. First pitch from Ogle, grounded foul for Chase Niemeyer, the catcher. And it's his 5th time to the plate.
It's before 7 runs come across the plate.
1 run's upstairs. It's 2 balls and runs before they get 2 outs.
Yeah, the big Grabowski out there and left nonchalantly just picks it up off the turf. That one seemed destined for a hit, but the lanky man snatched it before it hit the turf, and there's 1 out.
Michigan commit Caden Matusak to the plate. Star shortstop who's shown flashes with the glove today, shown flashes with the bat. The 0-2 pitch, lofted to center. Abernathy's running in, and he'll play it on a hop as Matusak has his 2nd hit of the day, and it gets by Abernathy. Matusak now going for 2. He's going for 3, and he'll get the stop sign there as the throw comes in from Abernathy. It just couldn't pick it up, and it actually just bounced over him. We got bouncy turf here, similar to that of Workman Family Field. We're seeing it on the screen now as this is something he really reached down and got to. It hooked on the ground and it bounced. Just going to be single and a 2-base error. He's now on third. Atkinson takes a ball inside. It's now 2-0, and he's looking for his first hit.
Granted, that's taller than you. But, he looks to play it on a bounce and just hops up over him. On any other play, I feel like he gets it, but this one, I guess, had more of a downward trajectory, not straight down, but more line drives. That's why we've seen so many ground rule doubles.
I feel that there are a few bean ballers on this team who might be a little dishonest about their heights. I'm not going to name names, but I just would like to back that up.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
there are some guys
we
who
did not
say,
officially measure them.
There's some guys who say they are taller than me. I see eye to eye. Brandon Abernathy may or may not be one of those. There are some guys who say they're well taller than me, and I feel just a few inches shorter. As the payoff pitch is inside, and it hits Atkinson, who would have drawn a walk, and if the pitch got by, Matusak would have scored. But
it's going to shade him around to pull the right-hand hitter, but a little 6-4-3 double play to end
the run. Has a pair of outs hit to Brandon Abernathy. One on a line, one on the fly. As the 1-0's upstairs, it's now 2 balls and no strikes. Two-0 pitch. Chopped up the middle. Febriant might try to turn 2. He feels before their final out.
Yeah, tough play to turn 2. I thought he was going to throw it, but hustling down the line was Jessup.
And he has a throwing error already today, so a good job of him to just put it in his pocket. It's now no balls and 1 strike as Costello takes a strike. Costello himself looking for his first hit. He's reached a pair of times on free passes, hit by pitch and walk, has also driven in a run. As the 0-1 misses away. And that's something I do remember from last time here at Mtn Dew Park. There's sometimes some players it shows you a fun fact, some players it doesn't. But for Costello, his favorite color is red, which is
solid, kind of basic, but solid.
Truman, what's your favorite color?
Maybe mine's more basic. It's blue, probably.
Yeah, that is pretty basic. I feel like I grew up a blue guy, but my favorite color is actually black.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
No, I'm a big
That's all I have to say about that.
Big fan of the color black.
Okay.
2-1 line, but right at Febriant, who leaps and makes the catch for out number 3. The Bean Ballers take this one here in Marion, and it's been a marathon.
That's a team victory overall. You're using them because we went into Alton with a chance for their first 3-game win streak of the year, and we all know what happened on that day.
Well, if they don't do it, we all know
what happened on that day.
Well, if they don't do it, we all know who to blame. But
yep.
Nonetheless, the Bean
I will
Ballers
take full responsibility.
It here. Thank you to Mtn Dew Park for all the free concessions. We'll certainly be back for that on July 31st. But Decatur wins this one. It's 15-9 marathon. It ends here, and they've now won back-to-back games. So for my broadcast partner, Truman Griessel, I've been Daniel Herzog. It's been a blast to be with you guys.